Hello everybody, welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we got some brand new news, all from today, staying on the daily grind, but it's all going to come to an end because I'm going to be away for a week, but I might try and get an upload out tomorrow, just depending on the news. But I thought before the break, oh, there goes my microphone. I thought before the break we'd go over some quick news that's just come out today, and keep the ball rolling, you know what I'm saying? So let's get right into it. First bit of news of the day. Alexa Grasso is officially pound for pound number one after Nunes retired. Nunes is removed from the rankings. So after she retired, they finally updated the rankings. Nunes gone. Who does it leave? Alexa Grasso takes that number one pound for pound spot after beating Valentina Shevchenko. And that's great for Alexa Grasso. She finally gets to say, well, I'm champ. I've been pound for pound number one. She's got that title now. So that's good to see. Nunes retires. Next up, Max Holloway opens up as a massive favourite against the Korean Zombie at minus 1,000. Now this line's going to drop because there is the fact that Zombie could crack him, which isn't going to happen, but I mean, it is a possibility. The bettors got to realise that. The people who are setting these lines, Vegas, they got to realise, like, what if Max Holloway does get cracked? What does that mean for us? Like, we got to minus 1,000 if he cracks him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people who put that little bit on Korean Zombie are going to be making a lot of money. So if you believe that he might crack Max Holloway, which I don't, but I mean, you never know. You never know. Maybe put a little bet down. A little $5 bet, $10 bet. Depends how much you got to spend. I ain't putting it down though. I ain't putting it down. Next up in the news, yesterday I said Kai Kara-France versus Manel Kape was in the talks, but it is official now. It came official as I was uploading my video. So Manel Kape versus Kai Kara-France for Australia in September. Should be a banger fight, man. I don't know who I have there. I think I'd hedge Kai Kara-France for now, but I've got to do some more research into that fight. Banger fight to add to that card. Let me know who you got down below in the comments. Next up in the news, Nassourdine Imavov versus Roman Dolidze for UFC Paris September 9th, but Dolidze disapproves and says the rumour. He doesn't know anything about it. He never got that fight contract. It was going around on Twitter that was the next fight to make. Roman Dolidze comes out and says, I've never heard this. So unless it was some insider information that knows it's going to be put to him, and Roman Dolidze just hasn't got that yet, which this fight does make sense. I do think they should run back Nassourdine Imavov versus Chris Curtis, but if this fight gets put together, it makes sense. Run Dolidze, Nassourdine Imavov together in Paris. It makes sense. Nassourdine Imavov's a Paris guy. If they're not going to do that, do the Chris Curtis rematch in Paris. Because Nassourdine Imavov should get that right, as he was winning that fight. So it's fair enough to him. Next up, Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz has been officially changed to a 10-round fight. Now, there's been rumours, people saying, Jake Paul, bruv, why aren't you making this a longer fight? And Jake Paul was saying, yeah, I'm gonna. Listen, guys, I'm gonna. But he's actually officially done it. He's made it a 10-round fight, which I don't think helps Nate Diaz at all, in my opinion. I think Jake Paul's going to sleep him. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. This is such a step down in competition for Jake Paul compared to the people he's been fighting. If it was MMA, Nate Diaz all the way, but the fact that it's boxing, Jake Paul is probably just going to sleep him. I don't really think this 10-round change is going to change anything, but if Nate Diaz eats all those big punches and it does get to the 6th round, the 7th round, the 8th round, the 9th round, 10th round, maybe we do see Nate Diaz start taking over. So it does change things a little bit in that perspective, but still, I just don't like this fight for Nate Diaz at all. 2 new fights added to UFC Nashville. Jessica Andrade versus Tatiana Suarez and Colton Harris versus Jeremiah Wells. Both 2 good fights to add to that card. They're not like out of this world fights, but it'll be good to see Jeremiah Wells get back to it versus Colton Harris, and to see what Jessica Andrade has got after her 2 losses, because Is it just me that really thinks that's a weird thing, how she's dropped off from like being a beast and like outboxing the fuck out of that one chick, and now she's like loss after loss, like getting slept and getting choked out, I think, in the other fight, where she got submitted in the other fight. It's interesting. I really want to know what's been going on there, if it's a mental thing, if it's a physical thing. Hopefully she can bounce back against Tatiana Suarez, though. And finally in the news, we got Kelvin Gastelum and Shavkat Rakhmonov verbally agree to fight. Shavkat started it by saying, "Should I welcome Kelvin Gastelum to 170 on Twitter?" And Kelvin accepted by saying it's either sink or swim. The fight's been verbally accepted. That doesn't mean it's going to happen, though. Like, UFC has their plans, and if they don't want, maybe they want to boost Shavkat higher than a Kelvin Gastelum, who will be making his debut in the weight division. So, I don't know. It's 50-50. They both agreed the fight's there if the UFC wants to make it, but if they're gonna, whole different story. Would be a good fight, though. It would be a good fight. And after Kelvin was looking good, that's a closer fight than it might seem. Like, let's not forget, Kelvin Gastelum's the one who gave Israel Adesanya massive problems, you know. Shavkat, tall guy, doesn't really strike like Israel Adesanya, but does have nice kicks from range. And Kelvin Gastelum should have the takedown defense and ground game too. Sort of defend a lot of what Shavkat's going to do. Overall, I do have Shavkat if that matchup comes, but it'll be a good fight, man. It'll be a good fight. So that's all the news for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay in the loop. And if I don't post in the next week, I will be back. As always, guys, have a good one.
Give me 5 minutes, I'ma pull up with like 5 niggas. Give me 5 minutes, girl, I'ma be right with you. If you vibe it right.